Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk to you about Langskip. This was sent to me by the designer. Now this is a small card game, fits in a relatively small box, and it's all about you sort of trying to work your way up a track by playing cards. But you may be bluffing those cards and along the way slightly screwing over your opponents. So let's roughly talk about how the game plays and then I'll give you my thoughts. So everyone is going to have 2 cards dealt to them from the central deck, and then importantly one card is removed from that deck, so there is no perfect information. Now on a turn you play one of your 2 cards face down onto the discard pile. The thing here is, you tell everyone what that card is, and you don't have to be truthful. You can be bluffing a potentially better card, because all of the different cards in the deck, and each of them has different amounts, so there's 5 Valkyries, but there's only 1 Loki for instance. Well, each of those types of cards do something a little bit different. The Valkyries, 1 move forward. That's not too bad as you're trying to get to space 20. However, some of the other ones can make you move a lot further, like Odin, who's going to allow you to move 3 spaces on that track. So if you can bluff your way through playing an Odin when you're not actually, you're going to gain an advantage. Now, here's the twist on this. You're obviously bluffing. People can call you out. If they call you out correctly, you're going to get a mischief token and you don't get to move or do that action. If they're wrong though, if you were telling the truth, they move back 1 on the track. And you don't take a mischief token, you're just going to do that normal action and you've gained some movement along the track. The cards each offer something rather interesting. There's one card whose name I cannot really pronounce. It's Jorgmungandr or something like that. Effectively a snake. And it allows you to swap with the closest other person. Now that actually can see you going backwards on the track if you play it at the wrong time. So you don't want to be bluffing that you've got that if it's going to be negative for you, but then people might guess that you're bluffing and move you back or move themselves back if you actually played it, and then you can swap with them and it's been a benefit. It's a whole world of bluffing, basically. You're going to be trying to play these cards, bluffing or not bluffing, to get the mischief tokens, which allow some cards, such as Loki, to be a little bit more powerful. Instead of 1 movement, it could be 5, for instance, for Loki, by lying. Or you just trying to get to the end of the track, basically. Those mischief tokens and the cards you're playing are all helping you to do that, to get to the end, to screw over an opponent, maybe to get rid of one of their mischief tokens, discard their hand, they might have some good cards. And all that sort of stuff is just to get to the end of the track. Now you're not going to do that with 1 cycle of the deck. It's normally about the 3rd cycle of the deck that you're going to reach the end of the track. And there's a nice thing at the end of the round where if someone's turns have been skipped, they might, depending on how the cards have been picked up, they might still be in the round to be able to play their cards out, because you're always going to play all of the cards. Now, like I said, there's not perfect information because that 1 other card is put off at the side, so you can't quite always know what they've got, so the bluffing does work because of that. That's basically the game. On your turn you're playing one of your 2 cards, lying or not lying, hopefully moving forward and then drawing another card up until the end of the sort of round when the deck ends, gets reshuffled, dealt back out, and you carry on until the first person to 20. Putting it very simply, this is a bit like Love Letter crossed with Sheriff of Nottingham. You've got that bluffing of trying to get things past other people. In this case, you're trying to sort of maybe bluff against the entire table of sort of 2 to 4 players, or you are, being honest, but someone still might call you out as wrong. And then you've got this deck that's got various amounts of the different types of cards, and they've all got their own special ability, and some are better than others. Think in a love letter game that you could bluff playing certain card and someone could call you out on it. That is the style you've got here. And it actually works really well. It does take that game or two to know all the characters by name, but actually we found even the first game with a brand new person, by the time we'd gone through that deck, you'd shuffled it up and dealt them back out again. No one was massively behind, and they will have seen all of the types of cards, apart from maybe one, depending on what gets sort of randomly moved out. And after that sort of first round of the deck, that second one they're starting to know those characters. But after game one, game two just became that bit easier. And to sort of spice things up a little bit, once you've played a couple of games, there are a few sort of bonus cards included in the box that you can shuffle in. So you can take Thor out and put, I think it's Lady Thor in, and a few ones like that you're just swapping some characters in and out. It doesn't massively change the game, but it just breathes a little bit of life into it because you're then bluffing with a slightly different power or ability. Now, the mischief tokens are a real interesting part of the game. They do make you want to lie, even if you get caught out. Sometimes getting caught out, yeah, it's not great, but you're going to get one of those mischief tokens, which could power up one of the other card that you had held on to. At the same time, even if you get through a lie, you still take one of those tokens. So it's just enough of an incentive to lie every now and again, or as much as you can, but you don't want to be called out on it. So it's got that nice balance that you kind of need to lie or fib a little bit to get those tokens. But even if you get caught out on it, sometimes it's not all that bad, because getting a few of those tokens could see you moving quite a lot on the track by truthfully playing your next card. And all in all the cards, like I say, do these cool things, maybe allowing you to play a previous card, swap with another player, make someone that's ahead of you on the track skip a turn, maybe discard their hand or discard a mischief token, or maybe just move forward if you don't fulfill the other part of the card. It means it's not that hard to teach the game, but there are enough differences between the cards that you're going to want in certain situations to bluff that this card is actually that, or make people think that you're bluffing it. All of the characters are brought to life in sort of a graphic artwork on the cards, and I think that's a very pleasant and nice colourful way. The only issue I had with some of the cards is that some of the longer names, including Your Maganda, and again, the Snake Purse, we kept calling it Snake Man because I can't pronounce that. The text on the cards are a little bit long. For graphic design, maybe there's something that could be done slightly better for the longer names, just so they're a little bit easier to read. Even slightly bigger cards would do that. But all in all, the components were really perfect for this game. You could just shuffle the cards, deal them out, get playing, take tokens, and move along that board in the middle with some nice little Viking standees. So there you have it. That is a quick review of Langskip, and that is a fun bluffing game where you need to do a little bit of bluffing. It encourages you just the right amount. It's got a nice deck of cards that allows you to roughly work out what someone might have and maybe they're lying about, and it's got all that goodness of, well, hang on, I've got one of those. There's only 2 of them in the deck. That's unlikely, and all that sort of jazz. And yeah, it's a really good fun, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. Make sure you check out other news reviews and stuff on the channel. Until next time, I'm Oliver East, signing out.